Today is the day me and Matt have been waiting for. Can't even hardly still believe it's come true. We're going to plant the corn in Pap's big garden today. There's a few things we got to do though before we can get started. And it's a chilly morning here in the mountains of southern Appalachia. We've had a little cold spell come in overnight, so it's pretty chilly this morning. But the first thing is Matt's trying to work on the tractor, switching out the implements there. And I'm going to start, and he's going to help me, but to go through where he tilled, turned everything over really good a few weeks ago. I'm going to go and try to get out all the rocks, the big rocks that I can. Over the years, that happens every year when Pap would till. We would end up doing that because this garden is situated right beside the creek. So there's, over time, the creeks have changed, you know, and moved around. So that you find a lot of big creek rocks in it. Usually what we do with them, and I guess we'll just continue it the way Pap did, is this edge over here that kind of borders the garden. We just pile all the rocks up there and we've made kind of a little rock wall over the years. It's not really, when you think about the ones that are beautifully laid, people that know how to lay them exactly right, it's not like that. It's more like that's just where we ended up throwing them over the years. And I think my brother Steve poured some concrete over them once or twice and kind of solidified some of them, but a lot of them are just laying there loose. But that's the first thing we need to do. Then Matt, once he gets everything situated, he'll till it up nice, and then we can start laying off the rows and actually planting the corn. And when it comes to what kind of corn we're going to grow, our favorite corn is a white corn, Silver Queen. It's very, very popular in our area and in other places. So we have some other seed that Debbie from Bryson Farm Supply shared with us, I think by way of one of you. She got some of it last year and tried it and really loved it. And then I've got some other different types of corn too, but I think that we'll probably for this first go just plant what we love, which is Silver Queen, and worry about maybe experimenting in the future. And I'm not sure if we will, I'll leave it up to Matt, if we'll plant it all the corn we're going to grow, plant it right now, or if we'll do a little bit and then kind of succession plant. Our wonderful corn we've been enjoying for the past several years come from just down the road, Farmer Tim, and that's how he does his. He'll plant corn and then 2 weeks later he'll plant corn again, and 2 weeks later, some sort of interval like that. I can't remember if he's told me 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Anyway, in that way, his corn season is longer, and he has it longer into the end of the summer. Pap usually just planted it all at once, and that was it. And it just made what it made, and we enjoyed it and put it in the freezer and done all the things we were going to do with it. And as busy as mine and Matt's lives have been this year already, that may be the route we go for this one, especially our first time planting corn in so many years. We may just plant all the corn we're going to plant and be done with it for this year. And maybe next year we'll be in a better situation where we can think about actually planning out to plant some succession crops. And I'm not sure how many rows of corn we will plant. We were really bad when Pap was alive to try to squeeze in as many as we possibly could, which all is great till it starts growing and it kind of gets up against each other. So I'm not sure how many rows, if Matt will want to leave them wider or what he'll want to do. And we do have a few bags of potatoes left. So our potatoes at home are in bloom up at the house. We've had them planted for a good while now. But those last few bags, we may plant one big row of potatoes down here just because we've got the seed potatoes and we definitely should use them. Matt just got finished tilling it and it looks amazing. So great to see it like this after so long. Mr. Salamander got unearthed there. Isn't he pretty? He's kind of dirty now, but he's that beautiful orange color. He's a big one. I think we'll get the shovel and carry him over to the woods. And we'll take him over to the woods. And this end of the garden right here kind of looks like a mess. This is left over from my brother Steve, his little orchard and fruit area he had. It's really not a mess because it's wonderful. Those are blackberries. They just need to be tamed down and the weeds need to be got out of them. But those are blackberries and they are covered, just covered. And then at the end is grapes, and again, they are just covered with grapes. So we're definitely going to leave them here for this year, probably leave them here indefinitely, but for this year anyway, so that we can enjoy those wonderful grapes and blackberries. And of course, I'll share with Corey and Granny. And Matt has I'll let Matt tell you about it, but he's been really, because this is Mother's Day weekend, thinking about Corey and Katie being mothers for the first time and wanting to make sure that he does something nice for them. So you want to tell them about what you're going to do, or what you've already done for Katie? But
yeah, I'm going to plant a little row of beans right here just for Corey, a little short row. She ain't going to be able to work in them much, I don't guess, because...
Ooh, that scared me. It scared me to death. I thought somebody had me. It was just the wheel hole fell over.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Anyway, I'm going to put a cattle panel here like we do at home, so she can have her own little row of beans here. And she, like I say, she won't be able to work in them much and may not even be able to pick them, but Austin can. And they'll be right here in the end of her yard, and she can have her own little patch of beans. And of course she can, you know, anything we grow, the corn and whatever else we grow, they can have all they want of that too. But this will be her own little special little row of beans for her, especially to come out and pick fresh and cook. Like I say, I don't know how much cooking she's going to get to do, but even if we come down here and cook for her after the baby's born, we'll have a place to get the beans from.
I think she'll really like it.
Oh yeah.
She's kind of sad that she can't garden like she did last year, so this will really be a surprise, and she don't know anything about it. So
at least I hope she don't.
Well, she don't for me. So and for Katie, because she does have her hands full. Matt, what did you do for her?
I just got her a gift thing from her, where she buys all of her rocks and
jewelry making.
Yeah, her jewelry making equipment and stuff from. I got her just a gift card, not a card. They don't do cards. It's like they add money to her account. So I put her some money on there, and that way she can get on there and just pick out anything she wants for when she is able to get back full time at it. You know, she's trying to do a little bit here and there now, but she don't get much done. You know, in between feeding and diaper changing. So she can pick out whatever she wants with that money, and that's money she don't have to spend herself.
So Max come up with a plan. We're going to do about where the blackberries there are and where the bean trellis is going to be. We're going to stop the corn, which will leave this part up here at the top. So we can put, I wanted to put those watermelon, but maybe we can put some winter squash or something there too. And then there's also a little area on the other side that we could put some, maybe some squash or zucchini, which Corey could use those too. Whatever we put, she can, of course, use any of it. And that will leave us with, what did we count, Matt? About 10 rows of corn?
I think so.
And then on the far upper side there by the road, we'll do our potatoes, just one long row of potatoes. I think that'll turn out real nice.
Yeah.
Matt's gonna leave the rows wider this time than Daddy used to. And one of Matt's good friends, he always left his rows like that, and then would he just use the lawnmower right down the middle of the rows of corn?
Yeah, he'd ride a lawnmower down it and mow it, or you can get in between them with a weed eater or whatever, and you don't lose that many. You just lose a couple of rows of corn, or 3 maybe. But it saves a whole lot of headache trying to keep it weeded when they're so close together. You can't even hardly get in them, you know. And when it comes time to pick it too, it'll be easier to get in and wider. And it still should make plenty of corn. That's the way we're going to do it anyway. Whether it makes plenty or not, that's the way I'm doing it.
Matt's going to use the wheel hoe to lay off the rows, and I guess I'm going to put the corn in. Corey invited us to eat dinner with her in Austin, so we went in and had a sandwich. That was really nice, and nice that we didn't have to go all the way back to the house, even though it's not that far. It's closer to Corey and Austin's, so that was nice. Now the only two things we have left on our list today is that we were going to plant the long row of potatoes. Matt's got the wheel hoe over there changing out the little implements, and he's going to dig me a furrow so that I can plant the potatoes. And then we've got to do the beans that Matt wanted to do for Corey as a surprise. Well, we're on the last chore of the day, or I should say Matt's on the last chore of the day. I can't really help him much with this, but this is going to be Corey's beans. He's going to make her this. After we get it all done, we'll have to go in and get her to come out, and Matt can show her and tell her it's for her. I think she'll really, really like it. And I'm glad it's the last chore, ain't you, Matt?
Yeah.
I'm tired. Come on down.
Yeah.
Your daddy's got to tell you something.
Our sister is your very own little bean row.
That's for
And
me?
it's already planted.
That's for me?
Yeah, get off the picture.
Yeah.
And you can have
Oh
green
my
beans.
gosh, thank you. That is so cool.
And then we're gonna have a room right here. We'll plant some more stuff, and you can have any of it you want, squash and stuff.
Yeah. Well, thank you. That's so
That's
cool.
partially part of your Mother's Day present. The rest of it will be here this week. It's gonna be
Aw.
late.
You're so sweet. You didn't have to do that.
And what kind of beans we plant?
We planted rattlesnake beans, but all the way to the last little square, you can plant whatever you want there. I didn't know if you might want cucumbers or different kind of beans or peas or
That'd
whatever.
be cool if I could put a few
Butter
cucumbers
beans.
there.
Yeah.
Good, and they'll
Or
climb.
whatever.
Yeah, so you got one open one at the
You can
end.
come down here and look at it if
That's
you want
awesome.
to. It's already planted from here
Wow.
to here with beans. And this last little short square, if you want to kind of whatever this thing is planted.
That is so cool. I love it.
We could plant some okra here.
Awesome. I love that.
And then up here, you see the bean rows, the corn rows.
Yeah.
And they're wide enough apart where you can get a lawnmower going.
Oh, that's awesome.
And the corn in this stuff.
Wow. It's been a long time since we've seen this garden planted. Wow.
It'll be good here, a couple, 2 or 3 months.
Absolutely. That's so sweet. Y'all did my bean thing. Thank you, guys.
It's your daddy's ideal.
I love it. That's
Happy
so
Mother's
cool.
Day.
That's perfect.
And
Perfect.
the rest of our stuff will be here this week late.
That's so sweet of you. Thank you. I love that.
What
That's
is
so
them,
cool.
watermelons?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
There you go, Ricky.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love that. That's so cool.
Lucky for us, Corey has Outshine popsicles too, and she even had the suntan lotion one. Job well done. I got suntan
Got
lotion
your chocolate
on
in
you.
my peanut butter.
Yeah,
How'd that go?
something like that.
It was years and years ago. I can't remember.
I can't tell you how happy I am. I don't know if Matt's as happy as I am, but I am so happy.
Yeah. I'm
Corn in the big garden. Not just corn, potatoes, watermelon, and beans. And then Corey was so excited about her Mother's Day gift from Matt and from me too, but mostly Matt thought of it, that she went out. We said that we left that one little panel. She could put whatever she wanted to. She said, could I go get cucumbers? So done planted her some cucumbers, so that will be really good. She was very, very excited and pleased. I knew she would be.
And then next year we can add to it or make more of them. That's just all the material we had on hand is the one panel and the few posts. But next year we can build several of those or elongate that one or just whatever you want to do.
Whatever she wants to do, yeah.
Have more beans.
Very, very nice. Just makes me feel so happy. Matt asked me when we was eating dinner what I thought Daddy would think about it. Of course, it made me about start crying. I'll probably start crying again, but I think he'd be very happy.
Yeah, I think he would. He liked to fool the garden.
He did. He loved it. It's him and Granny's why I love it, because they loved it so much. They influenced me, having to help them when I was growing up, and it was just such a joy.
Yep, it sure is when you start gathering it and eating it.
Yeah. I think that's why Katie likes to grow things too, but why Corey especially likes it. Well, Katie likes her flowers and stuff more. She did one year, she grew a bunch of watermelons though. Remember that? And her watermelons was good up at the house.
Yeah, they did good too, didn't they?
Yeah. But Corey, of course, last year really got into it with her and Austin having their first home together. But I think it's the same reason. They grew up with us gardening and used to, when this garden had corn in it, like every Saturday morning, that's where we had to be in the beginning to weed it, you know. And they had to help us, and they complained and drug their feet just like I did when I was little and didn't want to do it. But I said at that time, I said, someday those will be some of your very favorite memories, and they say they are now. You know, they really love it. And of course, really meaningful for us to think about that in another, few years, maybe we'll be in that garden with our grandsons. That would be amazing.
Oh yeah.
So, it'd be really nice. Really nice.
We got company.
Mhm.
I'm getting this all over me.
Are you?
Mhm.
I'm getting it all over me too. That's all right. One thing I was trying to think of all the stuff I wanted to talk about was we ended up with 10 rows. I think we said that. I teased Matt about getting a string, making them real straight, but he said, I really just said it because I knew what he would say, what Daddy used to say. Don't you know a crooked row grows more corn than a straight one?
That's what he said.
So anyway, our rows are not perfect by no means, but they're there and they're going to grow. So we're really excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, I know the hoe that Matt uses. So many people have asked about the blue-handled hoe. It's all one piece of metal, right?
Yeah.
And the bottom's red. It's heavy. I will warn you about that. Like, I can't use it. It's too heavy for me. But Matt loves it.
Oh yeah, I like it.
And it's, if you have used the wooden hose, what happens a lot of times is they eventually get loose. And of course, you can fix them and all that. But Matt wanted one that he wouldn't have to worry about.
And I like the wood handle hose. I mean, I'd rather have a wood handle tool every single time. But so far I ain't been able to find one that will stay together more than a season for us. The end will come off or whatever, and I just wanted one that was all one piece, even though it's a little heavier. You ain't gonna break that, and the handle ain't gonna rot out. It ain't gonna come loose. I mean, it's all welded and works great. It's just a little heavy.
And I found out about them in the Green Prints little magazine that Miss Cindy used to get me. Not really a magazine, more like, think about guideposts, those wonderful stories, if you used to read those. but it's about plants instead of just, spiritual things or touching things. They're really touching, some of them are humorous, just a collection of stories. But I can't remember how she found out about it, but anyway, she got me a subscription for it, and so I really enjoyed it. But in it had advertisements for different little gardening things, and that was one of them. waycooltools.com. And somehow I got on there and started looking and seen that and thought, well, Matt's been wanting a real sturdy implement there, hoe, and I know that he would like it. Now it's kind of pricey, but it's not pricey when you think about, like Matt said, if you buy the cheaper ones over and over and over, and they last about a season. Now, if you know where you can get a really good sturdy wood one, you can tell us that, because I would like to have one like that. I could better handle it.
And I like wood handle tools. Don't like fiberglass. Don't really, other than that one being as sturdy as it is. That's why I wanted it. But I'd still rather have something with a wood handle. It just feels better in your hands, feels more natural, and it's a whole lot less vibration as far as, But nothing makes me madder than partway through hoeing and your hoe comes apart, and there you are. And the only way to fix it is to stop what you're doing and go to town, and you've shot the day, and that makes me angry. So I'm just using the heavy one.
So you've had that one, what, about 3 years? 4 years? 3 or 4 years, yeah?
Yeah, about 3.
About 3.
Yeah. And it ain't even wore a lot of the paint off the end of it. I mean, it's been used a bunch.
And that waycooltools.com, they have a lot of different other kind of implements too, all really well handmade, sturdy like that, so you might find something else you wanted.
Yep. Ain't that where we got that
a broad fork?
Yeah, the broad fork.
Yeah, we got a broad fork, and it's really well made.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We use it some in the raised beds where it's, well, we did use it until we got that little tiller that Matt has. But it's easier to use it. Of course, you can't put a big tiller in there. You could, but you'd have to pick them up, and it just gets hard.
Yeah.
So, the other thing, talking about tools, was every time we show Matt putting up a cattle panel, people always say, oh my goodness, you need a, what do you call them, post hole? Or no,
fence post
fence pole driver. And Matt has had those in the past. He just doesn't, he would rather use a hammer. He'd just rather use a hammer.
I'm weird.
Yeah, he's weird like that. He'd rather. So you got to do what works best for you.
Yeah.
Matt says he's injured himself more trying to use those than he has with a hammer. Maybe because he was a carpenter and he's just really good with using a hammer. Maybe.
I don't know.
But one of Matt's friends, was that last year, actually did really injure themselves with one. Like Matt's hit his fingers and stuff like that. But
he bounced that thing off the top of the post, and it hit him in the head, and it almost knocked him out, or it may have knocked him out. And he was a long ways away, back away from civilization, in other words, and there was no cell signal. And I don't remember exactly how he finally got a hold of somebody, or if he finally come to and drove out of there. He ended up, he had to go have his eye, above his eye, stitched up, and I'm thinking that he might have had a mild concussion from it too. And you can get, hit yourself in the head like that, you can get hurt bad. The worst I'm going to do is mash my finger, and my goodness, I've done that all my life. In fact, I did it yesterday.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, Matt has a bad boo-boo on one of his fingers.
But that's just part of all this, you know.
Matt's elbows give him trouble too, so that's another reason doing that is harder for you than using the hammer.
Yeah, they don't bother me like they did when we was building. Not near as bad as they used to. But if I do a whole lot of this, what I've done today, they'll start bothering me. But I don't do it daily like I used to, so it don't hurt me as bad. It was like tendonitis or tennis elbow, whatever you call it, and I kept it for years. But it's not as bad just doing it once in a while as it was every day.
Yeah. But that just goes back to the tool stuff. Like, I can't use that big hoe because it's too heavy for me, so I like a little wooden one. I'd really prefer like a little kid-size one. For me is what I need. But you just got to use what works best for you, and a lot of people do love those drivers.
Yeah, they're fine. I just
for
don't want to
Matt,
use
he
it.
just don't want to use them. Yeah, so
I get scolded quite a bit for that, but that's what works for me. I've drove a sledgehammer for a long
years,
time,
yeah.
and it's just what feels natural, so that's why I use it.
We are pleased with the cattle panels, though. We've been using those for several years now, and we just love them. So that's why Matt thought about putting this one down here for Corey.
And it's a little short one that ain't gonna grow a tremendous amount of beans, but with her baby coming, she's not gonna be canning or any of that, I don't think. But she can, either her or Austin can come down here and pick a mess and cook them fresh, and that will be good and lift your spirits, in other words.
Yeah, definitely.
And then, of course, she can have all what we got, too. I
Yeah,
don't care, but
we'll
this is just
share.
right outside her door, and I just thought that would be something she'd enjoy.
That is another thing. A lot of people recently, 2 or 3, not a lot, but 2 or 3 people have asked me, why do you grow so much? Why do you grow so much? What do you do with it? Do you sell it? Like, do you go somewhere and set up and sell? We don't sell any of it. But we grow so much because that's what we eat. That's mostly what we eat. So we eat the majority of it. Now, we do certainly, we share with Corey and Austin, Granny and Paul, my brother Steve and his family. If they want anything, we definitely will share with friends and family. But we eat most of it. Yeah. So for the corn, and we eat it fresh. Of course, that's the best eating of the year. But then we freeze, we can, we dry, we do all those things to put stuff up
until next year comes, and then start this over again.
Yeah.
And we have holiday get-togethers where there's quite a few people, so it takes quite a bit of food, and that's what we cook is what we can.
Yeah. And as far as the corn, what will we do with all that corn? Oh my goodness, we'll eat a lot of it fresh, and Paul and Granny will, and it'll be wonderful. But we'll also, what we can eat, we'll freeze and we'll put up, and then we'll eat it during the winter. Oh, you want to pickle some?
Yeah.
That'd be good. Yeah, Matt might pickle some.
corn.
So anyway, that's what we don't sell it at a market or anything like that. We eat it and we share with family and a few friends, but mostly family.
But the corn ain't here yet. We gotta
No,
get
it
it
ain't
growed.
here. We got to get it growed.
Yeah.
I'm counting my chickens before they hatch.
Right. Yeah, there may not be none of it coming.
We hope so. One thing we got to worry about, though, with it, of course, is the deer. Now, deer, a lot of people ask us that question, too. Thankfully, there's like dogs in our holler, people's dogs that just kind of roam around. They're not, in other words, they're not in lots or whatever, and they kind of keep the deer at bay, chasing them around and barking at them and things like that. So we've never really had a problem in our garden, and Pap never did down here, but there was less deer in those days, so we're going to have to think about that, and we'll just have to see what happens. One thing we'll probably do you think we'll do that, what Justin does?
Put the ribbon up?
Yeah.
Yeah, we might.
Justin Metcalf, one of our friends, he has a YouTube channel. You can check him out, but he has a video about this, how in his fields are huge. He has a bigger farm, of course, than we do. He has a farm. We don't really have a farm.
Yeah, we're just wannabes.
Yeah, but he uses old VHS tape. If you think about how it's kind of shiny, and then it's so light that even when the wind's not really blowing, it's got movement to it. It's always got movement. So he uses it, not so much, I guess it does help with the deer some, but mostly for when corn first comes up, what you've got to worry about is crows. Will just pull it up, eat the little kernel, and lay your plant down. So he does it to ward them off. So we may do that. We used to make a scarecrow years ago. Granny would usually make it. She'd put on one of Pap's old shirts on it and an old ball cap, and put some pie plates on it or something that would make noise. So we'll have to probably do all that.
Yeah.
Like Matt said, we've planted it, but we've not got it here yet.
It'll grow. It always did in the past, so I don't see why it wouldn't now.
Unless something eats its only thing.
And we'll get after them if they do.
Yeah. And hopefully our holler dogs will help run them out too.
Yeah.
They do a pretty good job at that, which is nice.
Could get up every morning at 2 or 3 in the morning and come down here and make a lap.
You could, yeah. I thought you was gonna put you a hammock over there somewhere and just sleep down here.
Oh, I could.
Sleep on the creek. No, I'm not trying
to.
No, I'm not trying to get rid of you. Probably be pretty peaceful till those dogs run under you about 2 in the morning, chasing something under you.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah, or start treeing you.
Yeah.
The little beagle would tree you for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a really beautiful day too, because it's been, you see I've got my coat back on sitting in the shade here eating my popsicle or my jacket. It's been really cooler today, a lot cooler, hasn't it?
We picked a good day for this.
Really good day.
The rest of them won't be like this.
Yeah, this will be the last good day to spend all day outside in the garden and in the sunshine. I guess it got down in the 40s overnight.
Mid-40s.
Mid-40s.
And it's supposed to tonight and tomorrow night.
And
then start warming back up.
Then it'll start warming back up. But so the breeze has been really nice. About the time you get hot, the wind would blow and cool you off. So it's been really, really nice.
Yep.
It's been so long since we've been down here, though, all day.
It's neat, isn't it?
Yeah, it is neat. And earlier in the day, we even had some company. Matt's Aunt Wanda and Uncle Sam come to see us, and well, they'd come up to the house, but then on their way out, they come down here and just talked for a few minutes to us and Corey and Austin, and it was really nice to see them, of course, but then it was nice for me. I thought, oh my goodness, I'd kind of forgotten that piece of Pap's garden. There was always somebody coming by, and then you'd stop and take a break and talk and laugh and sit in the shade and go on, and then it'd be time to go back to work. But I thought I'd forgot about that, the visiting aspect of the garden. So that was really neat that they come, and I was like, oh yeah, now I remember that too. There was always somebody coming, and like Matt said, it'd give you a good excuse to take a break and sit down for a few minutes and talk.
Especially other people that garden, if they've got theirs caught up, they'll come and visit on Saturday to see what you're doing with yours, and talk about it, and that's just the way it used to be. I forgot about that too. I don't completely forgotten about it. It's pretty neat.
Uncle Henry, a lot of times, because he always made a garden too, he would do that. He'd walk up here to see how things was going up here, and he'd talk and sit, and of course there'd be laughter and people teasing each other and advice about this or that, about the garden, or how their stuff was doing and how yours is doing, and
where'd you get your seed?
Yeah, where'd you get your seed, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Very peaceful down here. Today it was nice. Of course, anytime we could have went in Steve's house and used the bathroom, got water, done whatever we wanted to do. Of course, him and Kim didn't care a bit. But with Corey and Austin being there, we were able to go in and out, and then she made us dinner, which was just a sandwich, but that was nice. But I told Matt we need a picnic table down here somewhere where we can just have stuff. And
I'll get on that.
Yeah, in your spare time.
Yeah, in between all these 4 gardens and 3 plumbing jobs I got to do and everything else.
It seems like every day Matt's list gets longer. Right when he pushes one thing off his plate, then something else happens, something else breaks somewhere that he's in charge of that has to take its place.
The fishing part of my list is real little. I ain't even been. And here it is. It's almost too late as far as the spring fish, But whatever.
Well, we didn't know Granny's going to take a 19-day vacation to the hospital.
That's true.
That threw us all behind.
That's part of that, and the weather's why we're so late getting all this put in.
Yeah, but I think it'll be okay.
Oh yeah, it'll be fine. We ain't real bad late. We're just behind most everybody else around here, but that's all right. We could have done it. When was it? We was going to do it back earlier in the week, but then it had tremendous rain, and then that took 2 or 3 days to dry.
Yeah.
And it's finally pretty well dry today. It was still a little damp this morning, but I just got in it anyway. But I think today's really dried it out quite a bit.
It has, and the wind that we've had over the past 2 or 3 days, we had the rain finally went away, and then we had the wind. That's helped a lot for sure.
Yep.
Well, you gonna carry me back up the house?
Put you in the bucket
Put
here
me
and
in the
drive you up there
bucket.
and dump you out.
At least now we can pile all our stuff in here and then drive up.
Yeah.
Which we used to, I guess we used to pile it in the back of your truck and then drive up.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Years ago. I don't care nothing about walking back up there today, do you?
No, I'm tired. I'm wore out. We'll sleep good tonight.
I hope.
I think we will. Got that cooler air coming in the window and we're wore out. We should sleep really good.
Yep. I think one problem, I've come double unfed.
Uh-oh.
I'm hungry.
You're gonna have to take Matt home and feed him. The sandwich didn't hold you.
Well, it did up to about now.
It's about supper time.
Yeah.
Today, when you're watching this, is Mother's Day, so we'd like to wish all of you mothers a happy Mother's Day and hope that you've had a wonderful day with your family. I can't remember the term, but of course there's mothers, but then there's sometimes your mother is not your mother. That's what I'm trying to say. Maybe you didn't have kids, but you're still a mother to people. So we hope you had a wonderful day too. There's like a real cute, sweet term for that, but I can't think of what it is right now. But we hope that you had a wonderful Mother's Day. I know Corey was pleased with her present. Of course, she didn't even expect anything. And Matt had already given Katie her gift certificate or her credit, and she was excited about that. So, and I know that by now, we'll know that by the time y'all are watching it, me and Granny will have had a good Mother's Day too. So we sure hope each of you do. And we're always grateful when you stop by to help us celebrate Appalachia. And we hope that you're as excited as we are to see the corn grow, and before you know it, we'll be breaking off an ear and
Oh yeah.
and slathering some butter on it and eating it for supper.
Yeah.